everyone, welcome to Tuesday Talks with Linda McKenna of Golden Rule Senior Placement Services. As promised, we were going to talk about today why you need me as your senior advisor. There's many reasons, and I'm going to go into detail about it, but why would you not? So here is the reasons why. I wrote a couple of notes to keep me on track, and this way you can contemplate my services not only in your own mind for your senior loved one, but also with the family and making a decision. I put together the top reasons why you would use my services, and as your advisor, we help one another and guide on this navigation of senior living and options for your senior loved one. Number one, it is very overwhelming and an emotional time. Having to make decisions, sometimes eminent decisions, depending on your senior loved one's needs, can be very overwhelming to all the family members, both emotional and stressful. Truly, we all don't make our best decisions, even with much research and options, when we're overwhelmed with frustration, angst, and abundance of responsibilities and emotional distress. Sometimes you make snap judgments or snap decisions in a lot of things in life, even though with research and all, because you're in that overwhelming and emotional part of it. So having somebody guiding you along the way is really beneficial to you. So that person could take out the overwhelming part of it and the emotional part of it and the anxiety part of it, and you could rely on that person's shoulder. 2, I'm your advisor and considered your local expert. Me as your senior living advisor can provide an insider's view on local senior communities and elder care options. I visit communities and have been working with families in your similar situation for almost 4.5 years now. I have been in the same position as yourself with my own parents. Since I am a certified administrator, I consider myself a true expert and have been known over the last 25 plus years to be a great resource to the community regarding care and transition information. As we just touched upon in one, it's overwhelming and emotional. I had to go through it with my own parents and had to be very subjective about it. I've worked in home health and hospice care for over 25 plus years and have worked in the local health community. But that doesn't limit me to the local area where I reside. I have outstretched myself with education, that being I am a certified administrator, so I see things from a different perspective of what your senior loved one needs. I know the rules and regulations of the facility, so I'm considered your expert and somebody you rely upon. Just the same when you are looking for your financial strength for your future, you go to a financial advisor. If you are looking for a new home and want to be in the right district for your children, school district, where there's a lot of resources versus other districts, again, you go to a real estate agent. These are considered professionals, and I want to be considered that for you as your advisor because this is my line of expertise. Number 3, I as your advisor can save you time. Instead of personally looking through a vast list of communities from a novice point of view, you are evaluating what might be appropriate for your senior loved one. Ultimately can be even more overwhelming. As your advisor, I can access your senior loved one's specific needs, that being what I call the 4 pillars of needs: financial, medical, social, and spiritual. From that compiled assessment, I create a list of options where I am able to tell you about the unique features and amenities of each community has to offer. And more importantly, I tour these communities with you. This all aids in your not having to spend time doing a lot of research and inquiries, analyzing what is and isn't inappropriate. And physically, unattended visiting those communities that are not a good fit to begin with. Unattended, meaning it is very treacherous. Going door to door, taking tours of these facilities that might not be appropriate. There's different licensures of each of these facilities, that being a standard license where they can't do a lot of medical intervention. There's limited nursing services, licensure. There's also what they call ECC, which is the highest level, which is extra congregate care. Once I have your assessment in hand and created a profile, I can really astutely see what your senior loved one needs, and we're going to go after the appropriate community. Maybe it might be an adult family care home, which is a residential care home. The reason why is because we want them to have the quality of life and where they can age in place. So just putting a Band-Aid on the situation now and placing your loved one what might be just appropriate for now. Some people think, oh, my dad could still live independently, and his needs are not in line with that thinking. I just had that situation with a family, and going into an independent realm that he can't age in place, he's going to have to transition yet again. So we want to keep that, in our forefront of discovery and options, is that we want to make sure that they age in place and that their license, that community, is going to be appropriate now and then later. From me, number 4, from me as your advisor, you will receive personalized assistance. As your advisor, as mentioned earlier, I assess your senior loved one's needs and provide you with the pertinent information that is specific and catered to your family's decision. Furthermore, as your advisor, I'm here to help you along this way and every step of the way. Have much resources to aid in the transition, such as elder law attorneys, financial advisors, moving companies who specialize in services for seniors, real estate companies, real estate agents, mobile physician and clinical groups, skilled care, home care assistants, and much more. To answer any of your questions, not matter how silly as you think that they are, it is important, and ultimately, I keep in touch with you throughout the search and transition process. Meaning, even after the move, I follow up, make sure that everything is going well, and if your senior loved one needs any more assistance. This is not a service that stops. I kind of feel like I adopted you, folks, with your senior loved ones, because I know it doesn't stop when that person moves in, your senior loved one moves into that facility. All the integral parts before move-in is very vital, but after move-in is just as vital. Why? We want them to make sure that they're able to sustain themselves financially, but more importantly, that they are getting the advantage of what that community has to offer, and they are stimulated with the activities, getting the appropriate care. So I'm there with you every step of the way. I take it as my mission and my philosophy that it doesn't end upon the sale. A lot of people feel that way when they're in a sales component, that once the sale is done, everything is done. Not me. I'm here to stay. Number 5, I, as your advisor, have a great deal of experience in training. As mentioned before, I'm a certified administrator, so I know what the state rules and regulations that are bestowed upon these senior living communities. Also, I'm aware of the different options in the licensing of the assisted living communities and how the community can handle your senior loved one and their care needs as they age in place. I consider myself an expert on senior care after having 25 plus years in sales management with home health care, hospice, and within the senior living communities, and have worked with a large amount of families and vast amount of senior care communities. As an advisor and certified administrator, I am continuously trained on transitioning, disease processes, and resourceful topics. whether that it be financial, medical, mental, and community offerings, so I can provide the best support possible to your senior loved one, you and your entire family. As mentioned, yes, I present a lot of resources health-wise. Also, there's things to tap into that you might not realize financially. That with the elder law attorney, that might be Medicaid planning for the future, but also if mom or dad was a veteran or their spouse was a veteran, that we could tap into the stipend called aid and attendance. I provide you those resources rather than you navigating it on your own and not properly filling out the application process for it. We want to make sure when you're applying for it that every I is dotted and every T is crossed, so we make sure that that application goes through very swiftly and effectively. Okay, so I'm guiding you along the way. Number 6, lastly, my service is free. I, as your advisor, am compassionate and also very well in tune to what the senior living community has to offer financially. But I, as your advisor, am compensated with a commission in many of the specific and with many specific and contracted facilities, whether it be large or small senior living communities, adult care homes, residential and group homes that are locally amongst the areas of your interest. This is the reason why my expert services are offered at no cost to your senior loved ones and you and your family. So somebody had said to me, do you only guide me to the places that you're contracted with? Absolutely not. I make sure that what's on my list is appropriate for you, whether it be contracted or not. But the way I'm compensated is through that facility compensating me. So there is no cost to you by any means. So it's a free service. It is a complimentary service. My work is very detailed. I'm very unlike any other senior living advisor, may it be an online service or with a group senior living community placement service. The reason why is I go more in depth. I'm there with you every step of the way, actually present you resources. And this is all free because what I utilize is tried and true. And what I always say to my clients is, if it's not good enough for my own parents, it is not going to be good enough for you. So I do a very in-depth investigation and navigation as to each of the things that I offer you as options. After speaking of and hearing all the above 6 reasons when you should use my services, why would you not? Use me and Golden Rule Senior Placement Services. If you need more information, please go on my website. It's www.goldenruleseniorplacement.com. There you'll see a whole host of my information, my demographics, ways to get in touch with me, resources, various options, these video talks, links to my social media, testimonials, and so much more. This is time to do your homework and use a senior advisor that is professional, but more importantly, is compassionate to your senior loved one's needs. I would be honored to help you and your senior loved one on the next chapter of their life and their journey for a good quality of life. As always, thank you so much for viewing Tuesday Talks, and have a blessed week, and I look forward to next week in discussing your senior loved one's needs and placement options. Bye-bye now.